Good to have you on Live Knowledge from Omobola Stephen. I'm the host of Omobola Stephen. On Live Knowledge, we just like to explore topics on the self-development and personal improvement because we come to realize the importance of embracing personal development and self-improvement along the course of our life. When we come to embrace personal development and self-improvement, now we get to find ourselves along the way. And in finding ourselves, we come to realize there's so much in it possibilities that life offers for us if we don't give up. I know it's a constant effort, but I promise you, if you don't give up on personal development and self-improvement, you're going to really have the transformative life that you really want to have on this side of eternity. Today, I have Marcus Aurelius-Higgs, who is a communication coach for parents on preteens. Is on the show with me today. And we have such an exciting topic of discussion on the show today. Welcome once again, Marcus Aurelius-Higgs.
It's wonderful to be here, Omobola. Yeah, thank you for having me and sharing your platform.
Thank you for joining me once again. Now, you are a communication coach for parents of preteens. Now, that's a very unique niche that you cover. And your mission really is to globally support parents of preteens. That means those who fall between 10 to 14 years so that they can show up and maintain a meaningful relationship with their children in these identity breaking years. Now, I'd like you to share just that inspiration with my audience.
Yeah, for sure. My parents are from two different parts of the world too. My mother's from the Philippines. My father's from the Bahamas, and that's where I am now. And I was born in California, so I have a mix of cultures to begin with. And I studied communication in Alabama to be in journalism. I went out to South Korea to be a teacher, a missionary teacher missionary teacher. During that time, my understanding of the divine, my relationship with God and so on expanded, I say. And I didn't want to be a missionary anymore, but I wanted to be a teacher still. So I went out to Saudi Arabia, went to Spain, went to Thailand, and I taught in all those places. And one thing that I was noticing is, like your subject is about personal development and growing, something that I noticed with all of those cultures and all those places was we are the stories we tell ourselves, and those stories are given to us in our formative years, during our preteen years. And the way in which we manage stress, how we handle stress, is because of the stories we tell ourselves. Now, I have a communication background, and I wanted to contribute to personal well-being and answer the problem about mental well-being. Yeah. And I decided to help parents because these are the types of people who I helped in the classroom. I helped their children, but I would have parent-teacher meetings and conversations. And now I'm back in the Bahamas with my aging parents, and I wanted to still help the community with coaching and with my services. So that's why I chose parents of preteens.
All right. Now, really, is it about the stories that we tell ourselves or the stories that we hear from others?
Hey, that's a good question, right? I say be mindful of the voice with which you speak to children, because in time, that is the voice with which they speak to themselves. So yeah, we hear these stories from other people, but then we start to tell them to ourselves. So it's both. The answer is yes to your question.
But really, Marcus, you know that that's something that is quite challenging for every parent. You can help but to scold the children when it's necessary. You can help but to correct them when it's necessary. So how can you just strike the balance?
um, the word parent means to bring forth. So in my approach to parenting, I don't think we're there to put our identity or our control on them to control them. I think we create the environment for them to express themselves. Sometimes their behavior is not for their well-being, it's not for their good health or for the community's well-being, and we have to speak to that. Yeah, we don't just let them go wild. We have to bring forth greatness. So the balance there, you're right, there is a balance. Anytime there is stress in our transitions, when we're changing, that's when we learn the best lessons, or we learn who we are. Eventually, you want your child to learn who they are so they can show up in the world. And I think that happens by not controlling them. We just have to create the environment, the truth, and we're speaking about who we are at our core, and we're helping our kids understand who they are with their through our different going after something that we love, trying our different projects, like about personal development, like you said. And then up is unveil your potential, learning how to celebrate ourselves in all of our efforts. That's what
Oh,
show up is.
absolutely.
How you doing? You
All
good?
right, definitely. So how can we apply that to supportive parenting?
Yeah. S is it starts with a strong character identity, knowing who you are, so that when you're making an effort towards something and then you make a mistake or you fail on something, you understand that that is a part of growth. You say, yeah, you're getting to play the game, and then you make it right, and then you continue on going forward, and we keep on moving. And when you teach people that, they can know that, oh yeah, I'm growing, and you start to feel good about your growth. And when you start to feel good about your growth, it's like, okay, I got this. And then you start to make that part of your character too. I'm a person who grows, and you make that your identity. Because I can tell you, I can assure you, I promise you, if you are parenting, you will make mistakes. You will make mistakes, but it's learning how to build back from those mistakes. Yeah.
Oh, actually, that's what I like to talk about. But really, because you also emphasize a you time for the teachers, right? But really, at this age and time where you have a busy mother or a busy father, how is it very possible to maintain a such a time as this? Is there any balance? I know it's going to be a struggle.
Sure. Um, with maintaining you time, and just to explain what you time is, it's time where you check in with your child and they have your full undivided attention. Um, while they're transitioning into the independent, like teenage years, you're going to have brief conversations, brief moments. So you don't need to have these long, drawn out conversations, but those small pockets of time done regularly goes a long way. Sometimes we just shut down communication and we don't talk. And really, that sends the wrong message. You cannot not communicate. So even when you're not talking, you're sending a message. And probably your child is thinking about a message that is not necessarily true. They're misunderstanding. But with you time, let's say it's 5 minutes or 10 minutes, but done at a regular time. Maybe we walk around the block like twice a week, or maybe it is once a week. We on a Friday night we sit down and we talk about what the child is going through.
Thank you for that, Marcus. All right, now, so now from conflicts to collaboration, can we talk on the autonomy and supplementing and the effects that it has on parent-child dynamics?
I touched on that just a little bit earlier when we were talking about hold space for collaboration. Like I said, kids are going to go through problems. All of us go through problems. This is life. Life is stressful, right? When we have stress, kids often think, what's wrong with me? As parents, as caregivers, as teachers, we have to communicate to them, nothing's wrong with you. Like life is lifing. And what happens is you're having a challenge over here. Let's think together to try to solve this challenge. Sometimes we don't have the space to think together with our child because we have our own problems going on. But let's not blame, shame, or complain towards our child, but let's turn towards the problem. And we listen to understand their understanding of the problem, their ideas. Then we help support them while they go try to solve their problems. Yeah, that's autonomy, supportive parenting. You're helping them solve their own problems in support of them. The way it makes it different is you as a parent, you are sure, like you are stable, you are regulated, and you're honoring the wisdom inside your child, and that's how you bring it forth. Because in life, we want to be we want to be independent. Yeah, we want to be autonomous. I can't say the word now. We want to know that we run our own, we control our own selves, self-directed, self-determined. In order to reach that, parents, we what we call scaffold. They try, we come up a little bit to help them. They try, come up a little bit to help them. And the whole idea is eventually they'll be here independent, but they can help us back and be interdependent.
And Marcus, but you really, when it comes to these teenage years, there's always this identity crisis. You know that because we've been there, we've done that. You term the word identity discovery moment. Can you tell a bit about that?
Sure. Life is about answering the question, who are you? And there are moments in our lives when it's just like, oh, that's what I notice about my character, right? We call it epiphanies. I call it identity discovering moments when you realize, oh, that's who I am. And that's a good feeling, right? Every time when you go through something and you're like, oh, I'm gaining a bit more understanding about me. When we have you time, we can bring our child's awareness to themselves and say, hey, this is what I see because, and then we give them evidence and examples. When you can start to do that regularly, your child will start to find evidence and examples of who they are in this world. And that's how they start to form their identity. Yeah.
So in other words, you are telling us that we should try and give these kids a you time. They should have a time for themselves.
Well, they will find time for themselves. You time, though, also means this is time with the parent. It's a small bit of time, little bit of time. The parent spends time with them also. Because contrary to what people really believe, kids do want to still have a connection and relationship with their parents. They really do. They also want to be independent. So they are going to do independence. But what you time means, this time is specifically for you. Yeah. Think about it like this. You make time for the relationships you care about. If you have if you believe in a higher power or creator, at the beginning of the day and the end of the day, you pray and you bookend your days. If you have a partner, you have date night. But you time, it's like a special set aside time for your child.
Marcus, with all the experience that I've gathered with some few parents, it's really tough getting through this process because at this age and time of these teenagers, they want to bottle up so many things and they are not oftentimes comfortable around their parents. What will you say to this kind of situation? Yeah.
Trust is built over time. Trust is built over time. And that's why I work with parents of preteens, because if you do it at the preteen level, you can lay that foundation of trust. Now, if you're in the middle of the teenage years and already the relationships are breaking down, I used to do parent-teacher meetings with my students. And when the parent, remember, we are the parent or the adult. So we set the tone. We create the context of how we communicate. And every parent is different. Every child is different. I would have to know more specifics to actually give insight. So I can't just give a general answer, but oftentimes it's with how we are shaping the conversation.
Thank you so much, Marcus Aurelius, for your insight onto this show. Do you have any exciting news you'd like to share with my audience? Perhaps you have a very important project you think is going to be beneficial to the audience. You can share.
Hey, thank you, thank you. These days I'm actually on LinkedIn doing a series of workshops about opening up the communication with our kids. So if you want to meet me over there, you can find more information about me. Other than that, it's marcushiggs.com. You can find more information about the workshops that I do. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. Any parting word you'd like to share?
The word is love. Spread the word. So
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Marcus Aurelius-Higgs, for sharing your thoughts on today's show, especially how we can get it right. Talking about parenting with the preteens, such a great topic of discussion. We wish you the best of luck once again in all the projects that you embark upon. Marcus?
thank you. It's been wonderful.
All right. You can tune into Library by Omobola Stephen on any podcast distribution platforms or any podcast and promotion platforms you bump into, and you have a great time listening to experts and professionals share thoughts and inspirations on topics on the personal development and self-improvement. I talk to you soon. Bye for now. Thank you so much, Aurelius. Marcus.
Yeah, my pleasure. My
Yeah.
pleasure. I have to run to my next one, okay? So, Bala,
Sure.
it was
All
wonderful.
right.
Thank you. All right.
Wonderful so much. Thank you. All right.